Hello and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, okay. Could this be the catalyst that absolutely explodes HBAR's price? So, I saw this recently and I thought I would jump on this because I absolutely agree with the general sentiment, and one of the people that I've seen talking about this is Moonlambo. Now Moonlambo isn't a HBAR content creator, he specifically does XRP, but I generally agree with the sentiment here. So I thought I'd do this video for you guys because it's completely applicable across the board, to be completely honest, and I do agree with this sentiment. So I think this is something that you guys might want to hear now. Okay, so we've got here a guy called Mike Novogratz who's saying he thinks the SEC will approve a Bitcoin ETF as early as this year. Now you guys have got to stick with me for this, okay, because you might be hearing Bitcoin and that kind of thing and be thinking that you want to click away. Don't do that. Listen to the whole thing, because we've got to understand how all this works to understand how this is going to impact HBAR's price. Okay, so we've got to just accept some facts here before we even start with this. Okay, Bitcoin is the leader of the market. If we just be completely honest, it is, right? Now, I completely agree. Technology wise, Bitcoin is awful, right? That's not a disrespect to Bitcoin. It's because it was the first of its kind. So of course it's outdated, right? It's the original. So it's got that respect because it has the first mover advantage, because it's the very first of its kind. And I actually give a lot of respect to Bitcoin, because without Bitcoin, we wouldn't have HBAR and many other cryptos that will be useful in the future. Okay. However, we just have to accept that Bitcoin is outdated, and there's many other cryptos that have come out since that are far more superior, HBAR being one of them. But as it stands right now, if Bitcoin drops in price, the whole market drops in price. I hope we're all on the same page there and can agree with that, right? Okay, so let's get into this now. So Mike Novogratz, if you don't know who Mike Novogratz is, I'll just quickly show you something about him, okay? Mike Novogratz, Galaxy Digital's CEO. He has an estimated worth of 2.5 billion. So we're talking about a billionaire here, okay? And I want to just give you a quick background check in regards to Mike Novogratz, right? Just to give him a little bit of credibility in regards to him saying this, right? So Mike Novogratz, when the Bitcoin and Ethereum speech was given by Bill Hinman. Now, HBAR may not know this as well as XRP holders, because this is something that was really important to XRP holders in the lawsuit. So you may not know this as well, but Bill Hinman made a speech where basically he said Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. Okay. Now, Mike Novogratz at the time, before this speech came out, he said, hey, I'm telling you now, Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to get a pass, other cryptos may be under fire, that kind of thing. He basically predicted exactly what was going to be said in the speech, right? Now, why do you think that is? Mike Novogratz is a billionaire. So, do you think it's safe to assume that he has the connections and the ties to be able to hear this information before it actually comes out? I think that's a pretty safe thing to say, right? If this guy's turned around and said something just before it's happened and he was absolutely bang on the money, he pretty much said exactly verbatim what was going to happen, and that happened exactly the way he said it, I think it's pretty safe to say that the reason why he got it so right is because he actually knew the information before it came out, yeah? Now, if we look at Mike Novogratz saying he thinks the SEC will approve a Bitcoin ETF as early as this year, there's no guarantees, but if he said this before about the free pass speech and how that will go, do you think it's probably likely that he's got inside information again and knows that this is actually going to happen? I think that's pretty safe to say, right? I think that's a pretty safe bet. So I'm not saying this as a matter of fact, but I think it's safe to assume that he's probably going to have a level of credibility in what he's saying here. And another thing that I have noticed is that the SEC, they seem to have really relaxed their speech on crypto lately. Gary Gensler doesn't seem as hostile to crypto. It seems that when the whole grayscale thing happened, you know, the appeal, they rejected the chance to appeal. They haven't. So doesn't that start to tell you that it looks like they're kind of seeing that the writing's on the wall at this point, and they're kind of just accepting defeat, or maybe changing their mentality? It would seem that way, right? And then let's just move over to the fact that BlackRock have put in for a ETF. BlackRock have actually applied for many ETFs in their time. I can't remember how many is exactly, but I'm talking like in the hundreds, I believe. And they've literally had one that's been rejected. One. So what's the likelihood of them getting this rejected? Right? I'm just going to quickly show you BlackRock here. Just a quick thing here. How much assets are under management by BlackRock? We've got $9.4 trillion under management by BlackRock. They are the biggest asset management company in the world, bar none. I do not see their ETF getting rejected. I just don't see it. I really don't. At the most, they might ask them to do some kind of amendment, and then they fix the amendment and it gets approved. But I do not think it will be completely rejected, and that's it. I think BlackRock will get what they want, and they will get their ETF. So, if we're hearing that this Bitcoin ETF could get approved as early as this year, what do you think that's going to do for price, guys? Now, I can give you a quick example of what could happen. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but there was a wrongful post put out on X by, I think it was the Cointelegraph, if I remember rightly, and they thought that the ETF had been approved, and this was just the other day. Okay, this was actually false at the time, but Bitcoin rallied like 10% within like an hour. It was literally that crazy within like an hour. Now, the news came out pretty quick afterwards that this information was false, so the price plummeted back down. But if you can hear that that happened in an hour, let's just say it did get approved and it stayed that way. It was official news. This wasn't no fake headline. It wasn't misinformation. It was the truth. It's got approved. Bitcoin is going to rally. Okay? And what's going to happen with that? The whole market is going to rally. So what's in the market? HBAR. It's going to bring the whole market up, guys. This could be the catalyst for the next bull market. And I think it will be. I think that's very likely going to be the catalyst of what starts the next bull market. I think you will see this news come out and everyone's going to get excited. And that's when you're going to start seeing institutions getting involved. And you've got to understand how big of a deal this actually is. Because first and foremost, we're hearing how much money BlackRock are handling. Okay? But then what you've got to understand is the average person can get into crypto. Okay? Because that's when everybody can buy Bitcoin. They haven't actually got to hold Bitcoin, right? So for people who don't necessarily understand how crypto works, they don't want to have to hold a wallet and that kind of thing, they can buy through the ETF. And that is mainstream adoption. And when Bitcoin goes up, the whole market goes up with it. And this will just bring a whole shine back to the crypto industry. That's what you've got to understand. It's not necessarily just about Bitcoin at that point. People can start looking and saying, oh, you know, the prices are going up again. The market's roaring again. Let's start looking at some cryptos to get into. Right? This is how bull markets occur. The euphoria comes in, or the excitement. Everybody wants to start plowing their money back in. And then people start looking at the cryptos they want to invest in. And then let's think about all the things that's going on with HBAR. Do you not think that HBAR will get a piece of that pie? I think it's pretty safe to say. So, to me, when I'm looking at this all together, piecing it all together, I really think that this could be massive. I really think that this could be the driving force that could make HBAR rise exponentially. And I think this could be what drives in the next bull market. And if they're saying as early as this year, it's October now, guys. There's not that much longer left. So if this is correct, buckle up, because it's looking like we're heading for some great price action. So, no guarantees here, but everything that I've told you from everything that's gone on in the past and about Mike No Regrets and who he is and BlackRock, putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, it makes sense to me. So I sit here with my fingers crossed and I say good luck, guys, because here's hoping this can be something huge for us all. And I'm really excited to see where this can go if that's the case. But what do you guys think after everything I've told you? Does this make you excited for HBAR? Do you think this is going to be something that could bring HBAR to rally in price? Do you think this is the beginning of the next bull market? Or do you not agree with this? Or do you just not think everything that I've said is going to actually lead to becoming true? Do you think that there's not enough evidence here to make this be something that's a likely scenario? Or do you just not really think it's going to have an impact on HBAR's price? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'd be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.